Well, we found last week's events very comfortable from our point of view. It created no difficulty for us at all. It was a very easy arrangement, and it was all about getting the unionists into talks, which we have now successfully done. And of course, we're looking forward to the beginning of substantive negotiations in the coming days.
What we were pleased with was that the parties all committed themselves afresh to the consent principle and to the so-called Mitchell Compromise on weapons decommissioning, namely that it should happen during talks. Of course, as expected, Sinn Féin voted against both and thus demonstrated that they're out of step with everybody else, and also that their participation and assent is not actually necessary for progress in here, and that they're more likely to be a drag on progress rather than be helpful within the process. The administration there in last year or so has tried to be helpful and wants to be helpful, and we will be discussing ways in which they might be able to help the process along. I think the pressure that the administration brought to bear, for example, on Sinn Féin, has been helpful in bringing about the ceasefire. And we hope that that pressure will be able to maintain the ceasefire on an irrevocable basis, because I know that that's what the administration wants.
I believe that we stand here in peace and quiet today quite simply because God responded to the prayers of so many people, both inside and outside the country. Now, we grabbed the spiritual initiative there, and we don't want to let it go. And that's why we're having 7 hours of prayer every day now, while the talks go on, right through to the 12th of July next year.
I think everybody here wants peace, and I would like them to work as hard for peace as I would if I was there.
I'm hoping against hope, but you know, they keep on coming up with all these blocks, both sides.
Well, I think everybody should talk and stay in the talks as long as possible and try and get some sort of a resolution, because once they're out of the talks they'll never be back again.
I believe truly that this is a peaceful country, and the majority of people want peace. There's so very few want the violence.
So what would you tell the politicians?
I would tell them to talk it over. Make sure they're in there to represent me. I want peace, so make sure you get peace at that table.